Welcome back to the Four Rings Inn for another episode of City of Shadows. Our storytellers have leveled up, all reaching level 5 after coming out of Thornstrom's workshop, as they now, two of them, delve back into the catacombs of Thalia to once again find an audience with the Spindlemaiden, while Renshor gets to have a wonderful night. We're gonna have a little. Renshor's gonna be our break for the evening, and we'll come back to him and and relax with Renshor.
He said no thanks.
He said no. He said, you know what? Actually, I want an easy day. I don't want to almost die. Yeah, perfect. But as we, our level 5 characters, delve back into the shadows of Thalia, are you ready for a scary story? We move back into Thalia, the lanterns of the streets once again being lit as evening falls upon the city, as two women, Sterling and Orianna, walk down the streets, making their way back to the Winding Mire. Sterling and Orianna, the stage is yours.
Are you sure you don't want to take the shortcut? I promise it's a lot quicker.
I'd prefer to stay away from the castle.
All right. But just so you're aware, when we arrive at the Spindlemaiden, the entrance for the shortcut that I was talking about is right next to her lair. So you probably don't want to head up those stairs in case we split up, because that will lead directly up to the castle.
Good to know.
And are you aware of how the maiden takes payment?
I believe she can trade in many things if you have a good enough offer.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. Just making sure you know that her prices are very steep.
Why has a cloak of the Ashen Warrior visited the Spindlemaiden before?
I had questions and my reasons. But, you know, you don't have to keep calling me Cloak. It's not my identity. It's not what defines me. I'd really prefer if you used my name.
It is. It's your uniform. And it's not something I can...
I'm not wearing it right now. I don't have to be a cloak right now.
Some matters aren't as simple.
I'd still prefer that you used my name. And listen, I have no right in saying that what I said earlier, that I wouldn't approve of you killing something. That's not really what I meant. I have no right in saying what's right and wrong, considering the acts that I committed myself. I just don't like seeing innocent people who have nothing to do with such matters getting hurt. And that's simply what I meant by that.
Well, then on that we agree.
Okay. You ready to enter in? Last time there's a lot of unsettling things inside of the catacombs. Have you been before?
No. No, I just heard stories.
Who told you about the Spindlemaiden, if I can ask?
An old confidant.
Were they from the south, from your old home, or were they someone from Thalia? I'm just so curious that someone from the south would know about the Spindlemaiden. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, and I only just recently found out about the Spindlemaiden.
They were from further north than House Moss.
Interesting. Well, when we get closer to the doors of the mire to the catacombs, I would like to look. I think I instinctually first looked for the lantern that I grabbed last time.
Oh, yeah.
Dig again?
You guys, you make it into the winding mire. You see the gutters are full of stagnant water, reflecting the light of the few lanterns that cast shadows around these streets. Nobody is out after dark. You only catch glimpses of the small animals or large rodents that skitter in and out of the light. You look, and where you last took a lantern, there's simply a low burning candle on like a stoop. But there's a couple other lanterns about the street.
I will just go to the neighbor's house and take their lantern and take a mental note that I need to return 2 lanterns now. I will take this now, but I will come back. I will return. That is important to me. I will write it down in my notes.
Excellent. Orianna robs from the poor again. And
Stop!
I go and I grab the candle.
Okay. Yeah, both of you take these light sources. And move back to the entrance of the catacombs. The word Blacksbane again worn from the timeless years, and that heavy door lifted from the bottom up is hoisted up. Actually, I need both of you to make strength checks as you.
I'm gonna watch her do it.
Yeah, you can watch me do it first. That's fine. I'll flex a little for you. 17.
17. You are able to hoist this door. It is not particularly heavy, and you can feel the counterweights as you lift up. Lift this door, and the entrance chamber magically alights once again as you enter the dim, firelit, embalming room of the catacombs. Again, you have... Yeah.
I'll go to hold the door open, and then if you'd rather I go first, then I'll go first.
I'll step in, and then I'll wait for you to go.
Yeah, and then I'll
I
go
didn't
ahead.
invite you for nothing.
Sterling, you see, as this is the first time you're here, you see the ceiling is that beautiful mural of the Weaver and the Dusk Wanderer giving gifts to the mortals. Symbolic depictions of the other 7 Novem are all around this hall. Aside from the embalming tools that are organized and laid out, the hall deeper into the catacombs are flanked by 2 stone statues, one of Everin, the other of Ryan, both veiled faces, holding like parchment and quill to take notes on the dead that would enter their halls.
Okay. So we're looking for signs for the resting chamber. For the resting chosen is the direction we're moving in.
Haven't you done this before?
Once.
Okay.
Just
I'll
once.
keep an eye out for that then.
Perfect. As you descend in, I need both of you to make stealth checks, and both of you can make or one of you will make navigation checks. It is up to you who makes the check. However, Orianna, you can have advantage on it since you have done it before.
Yeah, I'll do the navigation. I got a 15 on my stealth.
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
nat 20 for a total of 28.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
And I'll just say, in Oriana's mind, we can talk like this if we are to be stealthy.
Okay. Will do.
And I just, disappear. I just,
Yeah.
Do you disappear away from me?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Love that.
I'm right behind you.
Okay.
Orianna, how
I
is
think
your
what's going
navigation?
through my head right now is I kind of wish Renshor was here because I feel very alone. He's not even walking with me. I have a 10 for my navigation.
Perfect. I almost imagine that Sterling puts her candle out, and because you have the lantern in here, her candle's just, and she's just gone. And you're like,
Yeah.
all right. Cool. You move into these twisting halls, the bones and bodies of ancient Thalians flank you on either side. And as you move into the catacombs, you walk for about 30 to 45 minutes before you do reach the door of the Resting Chosen. You see the beautiful engravings of the Eversong, another one of the Novem, and the words, "May your stories echo these halls forever, Resting Chosen." And you find yourself once again in front of their hall.
I'll pop out back at your side. Now what?
I have to roll a strength change to open this door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another strength check.
Okay. Whatever that is.
Hold on. And I'll go to open the door with a 15.
A 15. You lift this door. This one does not have that counterweight to it, and you have to hoist it up over your head. But it allows you into this room where you once again.
Is this the flooded room?
This is the flooded room. You see every surface bordered with gold and onyx, all made of clean white marble, with the exception of the 3 beautifully intricate sarcophagi in this room with that chest-high water that has filled either side of the central path that is just raised enough to be above the water. The water has been in here for so long, Sterling, that it has worn some of the marble away and has become murky white, so you cannot see to the bottom. As you enter in, and the torchlight reflects off of this beautiful white walls to kind of give some light to this room. Orianna, as you walk in,
I'm looking for ripples in the water.
Before even that, you feel that yourself push through that wall as you entered. Mm-hmm. That wave hit you. As you recognize now, with a bit better understanding of the curses that are upon you, this room has been warded against the undead, you of which are one of them. And so while you are in this room, you'll have disadvantage on all checks.
Yeah. Sterling, please don't. Can you not disappear in this room? And I hold my hand out.
Sure. There's nowhere to hide.
And I squeeze your hand a little bit. More in the sense that I'm not holding your hand to guide you this time. I'm holding your hand because I don't feel good. All right.
You don't
there.
like this room?
No, I do not. I believe there might be something in the water, as there was last time.
Oh.
And this room, in particular, also just doesn't like me. So I'd like to leave as quickly and efficiently as possible without falling in.
Okay.
And
start moving.
Cool. Both of you need to make dexterity checks as you move across this slick marble floor. The water, as it slowly drips into this room, ever so slightly lapping up over the walkway that gets you across this room. Sterling.
12.
12. And Orianna.
10.
10.
Disadvantage does me dirty. My other roll was a 20.
Oh.
Knocks me down to a 10.
Sterling, you are just able to keep your balance. One of your foot slips off the side and scoops into the water, but not enough to pull you all the way in. But you watch out of the corner of your eye as Orianna takes
I fall.
a harder spill. Yeah, the DC is 12. And your feet come out from under you, and you tumble into the water.
Because we're holding hands, could I try to give her the help action to steady her?
I'll say this, because the help action would have been more useful before the slip than after. I'll let you can give her the help. Orianna, you can make one.
Yeah.
Orianna can make one more dexterity check. Orianna, you're going to get wet. This is a check because as you're falling in, you remember that you have the lantern in your hand. If you can pass the dexterity check, you will be in the water, but you will keep your lantern above and dry.
Okay, is this just a flat roll?
It's just a flat roll because Sterling gives you the help.
Okay. And do you want me to add my dex or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can add your dex.
Okay, 19 then.
A 19. You fall into the water. You're able to control your fall. You're neck deep in water. You come tumbling in, but you keep the lantern above, and it stays dry and does not extinguish as you tumble into the water.
I'll keep hold of her hand and kind of, especially because I rolled a 12, not fall in, but get down on my knees, so I'm holding her other hand above as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck! And I want to put the lantern back up on the marble floor and just try to scramble and climb up and pull myself out of the water. Yeah,
you hoist yourself up out of the water. You pull your now soaking wet clothes out onto the platform, and you guys are now halfway across the room, and so you're in the most exposed spot in this room. As you pull yourself out of the water, the ripples now heavily moving through the water, and you can't tell if something else is moving in there or if it's just the movement of Orianna.
This room really doesn't like you.
Fuck no, damn it. Okay, let's go. I just get out. And I just want to start rushing us to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Cool. Another dexterity check from both of you. Orianna again with disadvantage. And Sterling, I guess if you want to help her, you can eliminate the disadvantage.
Yeah, can I help her?
I rolled once already.
I don't know how that really works.
Oh, I'm going to say no. I forgot, because Eleanor had the ability that she could do it as another an extra thing. Cool. No, so both of you just make your dexterity checks.
Yep. Oh, fuck. Okay.
13.
13. Sterling, you pass and do not go into the water.
A 12. Is that the same?
You just pass. You meet the DC, and so you beat the DC. However you make it across, a couple times your foot slips off and splashes into the water, and you see more ripples go out, but you do not fall back in.
I have
Being
both
an 8
of my
on the
hands
dice is
on
scary.
her waist, and I'm just like trying to guide her through.
Come on.
Yes.
You make it to the other side, and the only other challenge is this door on the other end.
Yeah, I rush up to it and immediately go to lift it.
I will try to help.
Okay, so...
Lift to cancel out her disadvantage.
Yep, so just a straight roll.
Oh, I didn't roll with disadvantage. Okay. Oh.
But no, you don't have
I
to.
didn't need to.
You don't have to.
It was a 14. It was a 14.
A 14. You struggle against this door. Your hands are so wet, they just slip off of the bar, and you, on this attempt, are not able to pull the door up off the ground. Okay. If you would like to make another check, you may.
Yes, I will make another check.
I will help her again. Just lifting.
Okay. It's a 14 again. Exactly the same thing on the die.
Okay. Okay. It comes back to you guys. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep repeating this process.
This is all
trying
I
to lift
do.
it. Yep.
Okay, make another check.
Oh. Okay, that is a 6. My hands are really slip. Not only are they wet, they're getting sweaty now because I'm still in this room and I'm getting nervous.
Yep.
And the water, I'm assuming, is still rippling.
Mm-hmm.
I take your hands and I just go. Try again.
That's very helpful.
Yes, I need both of you ladies to roll initiative as you can hear the water rippling behind you.
Oh.
As you hear something shift behind you. We hard cut across the city. Renshor, what are you doing right now?
We're doing great without you, buddy. I hope you're having a lovely rest of your dinner.
Split that bill.
Renshor is getting ready to take a bath.
Oh, good.
We left the restaurant.
You're drawing. Your servants are drawing you a bath.
Yeah. They're actively heating up the water right now.
Oh, perfect.
I'm getting prepped. I got the copper tub, the soap, all that.
Mm-hmm. Are you in a robe?
Yeah, it's purple. It's like embroidered. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And he makes a little joke to himself about, I hope the girls aren't also in hot water. And then he chuckles.
I love it. Perfect. We immediately, after your Renshor joke, immediately moved back. It's like the camera would move directly down into the underground as we find what were our initiative rolls?
10.
13.
10 and 13. All right. Orianna, you are first in initiative.
I'm gonna go for the door again.
Okay.
I'm not looking back. I can sense its presence, and I'm just like, fuck. Please open. That is a 15.
Can I give her a help action, though, if I'm later in initiative?
That's true.
Because I would have had...
Yeah. I'm going to say for this one, no. On your next, when your turn comes up, you can use your help action, and then on Oriana's next.
I did blow on her hands before the monster jumped.
That's true. You did blow. You did blow on her hands. No, so this one, Orianna, will be with disadvantage.
Okay, yeah. So I have to roll one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is a 13.
A 13. A 13 does not get this door
open. Would a 15 have done it? I got it.
A 15 would have done it. A 15 is the DC. Yep. You're trying to beat a 15. Cool.
It's disadvantage. I'm so close. Excellent. I'm right there.
Perfect. That, Orianna, that's your action. You have a movement and bonus action if you would like it.
Can I bonus action try to open this door?
No.
There's nothing I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna move away. There's nowhere to go. I'm standing as close to Sterling as I can. I'm trying to open this door. That's it.
Perfect. All right.
I don't have anything to boost my strength.
Cool.
If only there was someone here with magic that gave buffs. But alas.
As your hands slip on this door once again, Sterling and Orianna, you both feel something thin and slimy snake around your ankles and tug hard on you. This creature is going to make 2 attacks.
Ew. I hate that.
The first one is a nat 20, and so that's going to go for Orianna because you're the one not supposed to be here. The second one is an 18, so both of those are gonna hit. Cool. I need. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, perfect. So you feel something, like I said, wet and slimy wrap around your ankles and give you a tug. It doesn't, on its current turn, doesn't have the action economy to pull you completely, but you feel your leg like slip out from under you, and you are immediately in a tugging contest with this creature. And it has you both grappled. Sterling, it is your turn.
Out of curiosity, real quick, did it grab both of my ankles, so it has like 4 tentacles coming out, or just one in each?
One of each of your ankles.
Okay. So two like things coming out. Got it.
Sterling, it is your turn. You feel that pull, and you feel your leg get yanked out from under you.
How do you break a grapple? Strength or dex?
It's a strength check to escape the grapple, or you can try to cut away what has grappled onto you. Or if you have any other abilities, they let you use a lot of things.
Nasty bitch, and I'm gonna try to stab at it with my dagger.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, make an attack roll.
That is a 13.
13 will hit.
Okay. Great. Oh, fuck! Try that again. 5 points of damage.
Okay, you get about halfway through cutting this tentacle as you see this slimy, like almost octopus-like tentacle has wrapped around your leg. You cut into it, you see blood splurt out of it, but it is not, you're not able to get all the way through it. Is there anything Sterling would like to do?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm just gonna sit here. Ready to hold my breath.
On the creature's turn, both of you feel a strong tug. It pulls your leg and both of you into the water, and both of you immediately submerge under. Both of you make Constitution saving throws. Orianna, you do not have to roll with disadvantage because this is a saving throw.
I got a nat 20.
Perfect.
Nice. Good job.
So 20.
19.
19. All right. Both of you are not hindered. You take that deep breath in as you go under.
Yeah.
And you can't make out much as the water is so murky, and you can see limbs of both Sterling and Orianna flailing, but you can make out something large and like pulsating on the floor is dragging you closer and closer to it. Perfect. You guys are now like 15 feet from that the spot where you started and like dead center of this pool of water as this creature is reeling you both in. Orianna, it is your turn.
I would like to pull out like a dagger and also try to like saw at this thing at my foot.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
13.
13 will hit.
Okay. And 5 points of damage.
5. You also get halfway through it, but are unable to pull yourself totally away.
And because of my level up, I get an extra attack.
Ooh.
So I'm going to use second attack on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? A 17 to hit.
17 does hit.
And 4 points of damage.
4 points. You are so close to getting this this tentacle cut away, but you, as everything's flaring around, you're just not able to completely tear it from your leg.
Gotcha. Can I bonus action make an unarmed strike to kind of like rip it and like pull it off?
Yeah, for sure.
My other hand, I'm sawing it with one hand with the dagger and I'm gonna pull it.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the other. There's an 18 to hit.
An 18 does hit. You need 1 point of damage.
Well, I get +3 to this, so definitely
there you go.
will. 5.
5, excellent. You rip this tentacle out. You hear a like gurgle come from under the water as this creature writhes in pain. Is there anything Orianna would like to do? You still have your movement.
Yeah, I try to like pop out of the water and take a big breath and then immediately look for where Sterling is or where she's flailing and then move as close as I can to her.
Cool. You move to Sterling as this creature takes its turn. Sterling, it pulls you close and you feel an array of razor-sharp teeth unfold from the floor and crunch into like the lower side of your hip as this thing pulls you into its maw. You are going to take 22 points of damage as this thing crunches its meal out of you. You're going to take 22 points of damage, and then it's going to make another tendril is going to come up and try to grab Orianna again.
Can I do anything against it?
It's going to miss. So you see another tendril come up and shoot towards you, but miss grabbing onto you.
Okay. Sterling, how you doing?
I'm
Sterling,
down.
it's your turn. Oh.
I got another fucking 2 on the level up. I only have 19 hit points. I am down.
Okay. Orianna,
you only have 19
see this...
hit points?
Wait, what did it roll to hit? Because I have mage armor, so my AC is 17.
It doesn't roll to hit once it gets you in its mouth, because it drags you into it. Sorry.
It didn't roll to hit.
On the bright side, though, your mage armor does not drop because it wasn't your spell, and Renshor is still conscious. I think that's how it works. The caster is still conscious.
-3 hit points, or does it just stop at 0?
No, it just stops at 0. If you have 19 hit points, unless you took 40 points of damage in one turn, then you're just flat out dead. But yeah, you're just at 0. Yep.
Okay.
So you're down, but not out.
The mage armor ends if I dismiss it.
Cool. Perfect.
Or 8 hours elapses, or you put on normal armor.
Yeah.
You dismiss it. Haunt you from my grave. My next character will be set on killing you.
I'm gonna dismiss that.
Third character.
Cool. Sterling, it is your turn.
Yeah.
Before you go, just keep in mind that in this precarious situation, if you choose to fall unconscious and your body remains underwater, you're going to be failing death saves. So keep that into your calculations. It may still be worth it, but if you right now, because you're still conscious, you're still holding your breath. If you were to fall unconscious, then you're in trouble. Okay. You're not in trouble yet, but you'll be in trouble.
So, if I try to pop a berry.
Yeah, yes.
And I have to open my, can I try to do it to not get as less water?
Yeah, let's do this. Make your choice, a strength or dexterity check. You're going to take a failed death save for this whole event, not for one or the other. What Sterling is trying to do is pull herself out of the water just long enough to pop a berry, that way she comes back up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So make a strength or dexterity check, Sterling's choice.
Okay. That is a 12.
A 12. That will be enough to get your head above the water, pop a berry. So, order of operations, you take the failed death save, you pop a berry, everything clears out, you're back at 1.
Okay.
These berries are nice. These berries are sick.
I'm worried about how many berries she has. 1 HP
is all you need. And then also, in Orianna's head, she hears, "I'm not doing well."
Neither of us are.
Cool. That is
my turn.
Sterling's turn. Orianna, it is your turn. You see Sterling is still grappled by this creature, and
and she's in the mouth of the creature. She's not grappled by the tentacle, she's grappled by the thing itself.
She's not grappled by its mouth, no.
It just took a bite of me.
It took a bite of her, she pulled away, and it will have to reel her back in and bite her again.
Okay, but it does need to reel her back in. Okay, because I would like to stand right next to her and also attack the creature, and so I'm just making sure I'm attacking a tentacle or the thing itself.
Would you like to attack the mouth, or would you like to try to cut her tentacle away?
Cut my tentacle.
I will say, from what we just talked about, if this gets another bite on Sterling, 22 points of damage, that puts you at -20. Sterling will be just straight dead. She cannot take
I'm trying to think of the best way to get you out of here. Okay, so I will go to cut the tentacle. Okay. That is a 16 to hit the tentacle.
16 does hit.
And we're going to do 4 points of damage.
Cool. It, once again, has 1 hit point left on this tentacle as you cut through,
and I'm gonna
still a little bit left.
Key point for Fury of Blows to take 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Okay.
Don't you have 2 attacks?
Yes. But this is immediately after an action. So after this action, I'm spending a key point to do 2 unarmed attacks.
Okay.
With a 17 to hit.
17 will hit.
And 4 points of damage.
Cool. You cut Sterling free from her tentacle.
And then, I'm not done.
Yeah,
I want to also curb stomp on the mouth that is near her, too.
Yes,
for my second unarmed attack.
For sure.
It's a 23 to hit.
That will hit.
And 6 points of damage.
6 points. Excellent.
And then I have my second attack on my turn that I'm going to stomp on him again. With a nat 20.
Ooh. Woo! What weapon is this?
It's an unarmed attack. I'm stomping on him.
I thought you You attacked with your...
I attacked with the dagger first, and then I key point to do 2 unarmed strikes.
Yep.
And then I said that I'm just going to do, for my second full action, another stomp on him. Another unarmed attack.
Another unarmed attack. Okay, cool. Got it.
And so this unarmed is a nat 20, making it 27.
20. Cool. 27. This will hit, and it is bludgeoning damage.
What's the damage type of that? Okay.
It will be, she'll be bludgeoning. So the target will have disadvantage on all attacks, saving throws, and ability checks until the end of your next turn.
And it's max damage, right?
Yep, max damage.
And so that's 7 points of damage.
Another 7 points. Excellent.
And then I'm going to use a second key point immediately following that action to do 2 more unarmed strikes. Can I use 2 key points in a turn?
An attack?
So
key points aren't an action.
You can spend the key points. Does check the wording on that, only because I think you used your bonus action.
Okay.
I think it gives you an extra attack on your bonus action, and so action economy wise, you're tapped.
Okay, so I could spend another. I can use another key point, but I can't do the 2.
You don't have another bonus action. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Bingo.
Okay. Then that's my turn.
Would you like to use your movement at all?
I would only use my movement if I could grab Sterling and move her with me. But if I can't, I'm gonna just stay by Sterling. I'm not gonna move away from her. If anything, I'll move and put myself in front of her, between her and the monster, where the tentacles came from, so that it would grab me before grabbing her. Hopefully.
Gotcha. Okay, so you step in front of Sterling. Excellent. Comes to this creature's turn. It has disadvantage on attacks, saving throws, and ability checks. All right, so it's going to make 2 more tendrils are going to come out, and they're both going to shoot towards Orianna, but they're both going to be with disadvantage. That first one will... Does a 11 hit Orianna?
No.
I don't think so. Okay. Ooh, and with a nat 1, they are both going to miss.
Good.
Perfect. That is its turn as it's stunned from getting kicked in the face by Orianna. Sterling, it is your turn.
I'm motioning to push you away.
Yeah. I want to get to the door with my movement. Mm-hmm. Then with my action, I will give Orianna the help action to try to open the door.
Perfect.
And then I would like to hold a bonus action for if I get attacked.
Okay, perfect. Deal. You're able to scramble up to the door, ready to lift it, and to help Orianna.
Let's leave.
Orianna, it comes to your turn.
I will try to scurry away from this thing, letting it take an opportunity attack if it wants to try. And I'm going to rush to the door with Sterling.
Does she leave his range? I feel like its range is all the way to the door.
Well, that's a good point. It missed either way because it still has disadvantage. But that is a good... We'll have to check the rules on that. Is it when you leave their melee range or when you leave 5 feet of them? I don't know. That's a really good
melee range.
I think it's the melee range too. So either way, Orianna, you do not take a hit and you make it back up to the door.
Yeah, all my movement to get to the door and my action to hopefully open this door with the help action from Sterling. Okay. It's a 16.
A 16, it does lift the door up. Both of you, as the door arises over your head, both of you slip underneath it, and it comes closed just as those 2 tentacles slither up, and poof, you see the door comes crashing down on top of them, and they wriggle on the ground as they are cut off from the rest of the beast.
I told you I didn't like that room.
I guess it wouldn't have been so bad.
Yes. That room very much wants to kill me. Okay. Moving on.
Well...
Are you okay?
No. John, I have a question.
Yes.
I spent hit dice last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Did those that I spent, like, did it get reset with the level up?
They...
Like, I know I got another one, but did the 4 that
Yeah.
I spent...
Have you taken a long rest? I don't think you've taken a long rest since that. Yeah, sure. We'll say they reset on a level up. I think that's fine. Yes, everyone has their hit dice back.
Okay.
Reset on a level up. I'm not going to play that nitty gritty. Cool. So you have your hit dice.
Can Renshor have caviar with his little spa day? Or, not caviar. What is it called?
Cucumber?
Octopus.
So you... Oh.
Calamari.
Calamari.
Thank you.
Yeah. Renshor, you're in the tub. A servant comes by with a tray of like steaming hot calamari. A delicacy from the Dromos, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can we just pause for just a little bit?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want to take a short rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty early in the night, so we still have a long time, but I got 1 hit point, and my berries aren't that good.
Yeah, you can take a short rest. It'll be, I think, 30 minutes or an hour is the minimum for a short rest. So you guys take a moment in here. If either one of you would like to spend hit dice, or I think, Orianna, you regain your key points.
I get that key point back. Sure.
Yeah, so you take a minute to recover as you sit by soaking wet by the door to the resting chosen with just this lantern and candle basking light in this tunnel under the city.
You know, if you don't want to take the shortcut out, we're going to have to pass through here on our way back out.
We could... Maybe.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to make you uncomfortable going through the castle, but
No.
it's way faster and way less dangerous, and I promise I'll make sure that nobody sees us when we're leaving. And besides, you slip into the shadows so easily, I'm not worried at all about you getting caught by anybody in that castle.
Really could have propped the door last time you came through.
I didn't think I was coming back.
Let's see how this goes, and then...
Deal.
Once again, stealth checks from both of you when you're ready to move, and then a navigation check. And if it's from Orianna, with advantage.
An unnatural 20 for my stealth.
Wow, okay.
And a 10 for navigation.
Cool.
12 for myself.
Excellent. Orianna, was that navigation with advantage?
It was not.
Okay.
Okay, now it's a 14.
A 14. You begin to move through these catacombs. Orianna, you, as you're moving through with Sterling, don't end up coming to a couple paths that you don't quite remember and get a little turned around and have to move back and forth. I need you to roll a d4 for me.
I'm nervous. A 4.
A 4. Sterling, you follow Orianna. She's moving through these catacombs. 2 hours pass as you are lost underground, twisting through these halls, making your way before you finally come upon the Well of Lay, which is, or you know, is your next checkpoint. But you guys are lost in the catacombs for 2 hours.
You know, the stories don't make it seem like it would take this long to reach her.
No, I swear I knew where I was going. I thought we're looking for the High Tomb now. I don't know why it's taking us so long to get through this. It really didn't feel this long last time.
Splendid.
As the two of you finally make it into the Well of Lay, Renshor, how do we find you preparing for bed?
Renshor left these girls 4 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting very nervous. So he is just like sitting inside his door, reading a book he found, one of his grandsire's books.
Okay, yeah.
Just waiting to hear Sterling come home. But he's getting worried. He's starting to regret not going with them.
It's getting to be like 10, 11 o'clock at night now?
Yeah, it's like between 9 and 10. Yep. The two ladies arrive into the Well of Lay. You see this circular chamber with that raised half wall in the center. And you see multiple paths leading out in different directions from here. You see one that says the Hall of Scions, the Hall of High Swords, the Tomb of Spheres, the Founder's Hearth, and the Crypt of the Nameless. And that's what spiderwebs out. And then one that says the Resting Chosen. That's the way you entered.
Yes. Is this the part where we're supposed to listen for the waterfall?
No. Listening to the waterfall gets you to the Resting Chosen. Then you move away from the waterfall, keeping the waterfall to your back to get to the Well of Lay.
The rumble of the falls has to be fainter.
Mm-hmm.
We do not want to enter the Crypt of the Nameless. We want to go to the right.
So
above table. This is where we got hung up last time. We want to go into the hallway of the Crypt of the Nameless, but we don't want to go into the Crypt of the Nameless. We want to go across the hall.
Across the hall. Yes.
They're co-located.
Yeah. I think Orianna is kind of muttering to herself, do not enter the Crypt of the Nameless. The falls must be fainter. We go to the right to the hall. And as I'm kind of muttering, don't go into the Crypt of the Nameless, I walk towards the hallway that says Crypt of the Nameless.
Okay.
The falls are behind us. The crypt is over here. We're going this way. And I'm just kind of we've been down here for so long. I feel like I'm going crazy just a little bit. And I'm just going through the steps of what I remembered of how to get there. And so I'll go down that hallway of the Crypt of the Nameless and then turn to the right.
Perfect. One more stealth check and one more navigation check.
My 16. Stealth is 21.
Okay, 16.
And my nav is 11.
Is that with advantage?
No, I keep forgetting that. I don't know why. Jesus, now it's a 19.
A 19. You move through these catacombs, this time focusing on what direction to take. You once again come to the intersection where on your left is the now closed door to the Crypt of the Nameless, closed by Renshor. Those bloody footprints that you saw exiting have since worn away, whether through strange foot traffic down here, whatever rodents scurry around. But you see, if you look really close, you can maybe faintly make out one or two across the whole, what used to be a clear footpath. And then to your right is the hall that leads to the Spindlemaiden.
So up that hall and through those stairs, that's the shortcut I've been talking about that leads up to the castle. And then over here is where the maiden is. What have your stories told you about the Spindlemaiden? Like, do you know what to expect when we enter this room?
I have an idea.
Okay. Then, whenever you're ready, this is her.
Perfect. And I walk in?
I walk in right behind her.
As you move into the lair of the Spindlemaiden, we are going to take a quick break and shortly return to more City of Shadows.
I can't believe I went down again. I have to get another scar. Eleanor had more hit points before the duel and the Spindlemaiden at level 3 than Sterling has at level 5.
Now. Wow. The that creature has only one attack, but it has to grab people and then reel them in, and then it gets one big swing.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right.
Welcome back to Insight Check. I'm Jacob. I play Renshor, who has not done as much these past few episodes as the ladies have. Let's talk about Sterling and her bird. Renshor's confused. He's not really sure why the bird's there. He was sad for Sterling when her bird died, but then she said it came back to life. He hasn't really seen the bird since it came back to life, so is she crazy? He's so confused on this whole bird thing. Hopefully he figures that out sooner rather than later. Sterling was generally doing some weird stuff, like speaking in people's minds, claiming to be connected to Voltaire when there's been no physical evidence of that in the past. So he just kind of wanted to check on her room, but there was nothing there, which is weird. She is technically, noble, so she should have money. She should have dresses and things, but it was basically empty, despite being there for, maybe a week or so at that point. Largely, he felt guilty for going into her room, and it's kind of a waste, because he got nothing out of it. He didn't get any proof of any kind of, Voltaire connectiveness, or magic, or the dead bird. Then at dinner, it ended with Orianna and Sterling leaving for the Spindlemaiden. Above table, I saw it as a great opportunity for those two characters to get some time together. In character, Renshor really didn't see the need to go back to the Spindlemaiden because it's creepy, and it's just creepy, and it wasn't that dangerous. So he didn't really feel the desire or need to go along with them to help protect them. Now it's time for some questions. First question, Renshor mentioned he's afraid of who his grandsire might have been. Is that in part because he thinks he's walking the same path his grandsire took? Mage, Cult of Cinderfall, and now the Woods. Yes, I think Renshor is inherently a better person than his grandsire was without really knowing the kind of person his grandsire was. He's not necessarily worried about the same path, necessarily just what his family lineage has done to hurt other people in the past. I think Renshor is better than that, and even if given the opportunity and immense power that we might be talking about here, I don't think he would intentionally hurt large swaths of people for the greater good. Second question, although Renshor made the choice to not visit the Spindlemaiden, how does he feel about being left alone at the table by the two girls? Honestly, par for the course. Clearly, Sterling needs me to pay for her because she's broke for some reason, and he was going to pay for Orianna anyways when he thought it was a date, so really not that big of a deal. And again, he already said he wasn't going to go, so he's not too pressed about it, and he got to have a nice evening to himself. Third question, we got to see Renshor utilize his high leadership skill to help the prisoners escape Thornstrom's workshop. What made you want to give Renshor that skill, and how do you see that fitting into his personality or backstory? Yes, so Renshor has a very high leadership skill. He also has a feat called Inspiring Leadership that he's never used. Basically, when building Renshor, he was supposed to be a noble in the government, so I wanted him to have the ability to speak in front of people and to be a leader and to step up, and it ended up that he just doesn't really have those opportunities because he kind of skirts his job most of the time. He has the demeanor to be a leader, he just doesn't want it, so he doesn't really use it. But if you'd like to see more of Renshor, Sterling, Orianna interactions, and potentially Renshor use his leadership skills more, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along with our team as we travel through the City of Shadows.
And we return to City of Shadows, moving back beneath the city, once again to the lair of the Spindlemaiden. As Sterling and Orianna enter, you once again see the little candle alight at the market stand where a familiar and rotting cadaver sits slumped over before popping to life. The candle sheds just enough light for you to understand how vast this room is. You see rolls and half-done works of this incredible fabric the Spindlemaiden weaves, the saricum, all throughout, and also different trinkets and things from all around, kind of surrounding the edges of this room, but you cannot see to the back of the room for how far it is, nor can you see to the ceiling for how tall this room is. The only thing that is lit well is this cadaver, and as it alights and pops up, its head creaks towards the two of you and goes, "Lunaris, you've come and returned to me, and I see you've brought a friend from beyond the city walls."
Yes, that I have.
What brings you back to the services of the Spindlemaiden?
Sterling?
Sure.
Sterling, a pleasure to meet you.
You as well. I have come for assistance in a hunt. I'm tracking down a particular prey that is awfully hard to reach. Stuck behind guarded walls. And I was hoping we could make a deal that you could help me reach them.
And what do you offer in return? My prices, although fair, are quite unsavory to some.
I know you normally bargain other ways, but I was hoping that there was something more useful I could give you than just my health. A woman like you seems like someone who would like information.
I'm listening.
You know of the Qatar?
Make an insight check as you say that. And Orianna, you can do this too.
17.
$15.
Both of you notice this, and Orianna, I think you notice, because Orianna, last time you had noticed the thin strands of saricum that lead up into the ceiling. And Sterling, I think this next action also makes you notice these, because as you say Qatar, the cadaver kind of jitters in a weird way, and you realize that something that holds these strings shivered at the sound of Qatar's name. And the voice comes back, echoing through the hall, and says, I know of Qatar.
I have information that I believe not many others in the city, or perhaps none at all, have, that I would be willing to divulge just for the small bargain of a way to hunt my prey.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued, especially at the notion that a hunter came beneath the city to me, rather than to the Grimwatch for a hunt. Consider me honored to serve your patronage. May I see this information you offer?
Only if you can protrude what I seek. I can't give away all my secrets now, can I?
Of course. I can provide what you seek. A method to enact your hunt. But I must take payment first. You see, Lunaris learned this last time. You have the luxury of moving upon the surface. My business depends on my dependability. I will not short you on my end of the deal.
Then it's a deal. And
it's a deal.
I will, since I noticed the tug of the strings, I will look up in that direction. And I don't know if this will work, but try to reach out to the mind of the creature.
Ooh, okay.
Up there.
Yeah, okay. You reach out. Make an insight check real quick as you reach out.
Not quite as good. 16.
A 16. You catch something as like a surface thought as you are able to reach up to this creature. As you look up, you feel the presence above shift in a way as if you are so close to committing a terrible offense, an offense that could not be reconciled with. And you come just up to that line and then stop as you reach out, and the creature allows this transaction to happen, but you feel like you have pushed up to like the absolute boundary of something.
I'll say, would you like to see now?
Yes.
And all of this is in our heads.
Yeah.
I will conjure and think of, to project the thought out of May at the Archstone Ale.
Interesting.
This is an old woman who has the Qatar with her. roaming the city. She goes by the name May. Blacksbane.
Oh, this is delicious. The shadows of the city above are darker than even I anticipated. Wonderful. And I think as you kind of back out of her mind, you hear one thing pass into your head, more as like an intrusive thought from the Spindlemaiden, as she delights in the information she has received. You just hear her whisper the word Asmalia as she like passes back. And you hear the voice echo into the room publicly now. But a moment, my dear Sterling. And the cadaver slumps down, and you hear shifting all throughout the room. You watch as deep into the room, you see some of the trinkets and the fabrics kind of tumble onto the ground. You hear tools being scraped across the stone. You hear the rapid construction of something before the cadaver pops back up and slowly descending from the ceiling and being settled just on the counter in front of the cadaver are a pair of simple but elegant and embroidered heels, like a pair of high heels made of both primarily black, but with hints of green and the faintest highlights of red. And these two heels sit on the counter.
I'll walk up to the counter and do a curtsy. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure was mine. And Sterling, you can gain the heels of the waking corpse. These heals, once per long rest, once per long rest, you can use these heals to cast Dimension Door without a spell slot. You can cast it for free. Once you Dimension Door to a place, you can, within the long rest, you can activate the heals a second time to cast Dimension Door again. However, the second casting of it must return you to the original point of your first Dimension Door.
You could just reopen the door.
Reopen the door.
Yes, exactly. Yep, precisely. And so the second casting of it can occur anytime within the rest, but you can reactivate that essentially like tunnel within a long rest, and it's for free, no spell slot required.
Slay! I just clutch them very tightly.
Yes.
And walk backwards.
And you take these heels back.
And then if Sterling walks back from the market stall, then I will step forward to the stall.
Lunaris, how may I serve?
I have 4 questions that I'm looking to get answered.
How would you like to pay for your information?
I'll give you my memories again.
Lovely.
My first question: who really was Resbin von Fair, and why was he burned at a pyre?
One long question, it seems.
Who really was he that he was like forced to be burned upon a pyre? What actions led to this consequence? It's one question.
For that, I'll require a memory that you have of a criminal of the city. Any memory of a law being broken by yourself or others. The worse the criminal, the better the answer.
I would initially want to think about Thornstrom, but when she says yourself or otherwise, I think the first thought that just comes into her brain, just on its own, is her own memory of being in the library at the Guiding Flame, killing 7 other people, and then waking up the next morning to the news about how Chimet had covered it up and how I was not going to get caught for it or get in trouble for it. And the 2 crimes that are kind of associated with that.
Absolutely. Do you prick your finger on the spinning wheel?
I do prick my finger.
You prick your finger, your max HP goes down by 1. The Spindlemaiden speaks again and says, Resbin von Fair was alive the first time, a long, long time ago. He was caught and tried for treason, for casting runic spells amongst the city. He was one of the reasons that law was created the first place. He worked with a cult I feel you are all too familiar with, to upset the balance of the city, to seek information that was not readily available, to hurt those that had hurt others. But for that memory, I'll let you in on a little secret. Resbin does not remember being on the pyre. Although he has the burns, he was asleep for that. Asleep before he was even tied to the pyre. And he was not woken up till a few weeks ago.
All right. Do you know where he currently resides?
I do not. The mortals above move and linger quickly. Where he was yesterday, he may not be today. And so I will not pretend to know where Resbin von Fair resides.
Okay. my next question. What do you know about the Tiraval helmet, axe, and amulet as a set?
An intriguing question. For that, I would like your memory of where you learned of the axe, the helmet, and the amulet.
Well, the only memory associated with these things is me laying out in a field by a burning gazebo, holding on to my best friend's hand as she tells me very quickly about these objects right before the depraved are upon us, and I close my eyes and she closes her eyes, and then the next time I open them, she's gone.
Yeah. You prick your finger. Another hit point gone. The Spindlemaiden says, "Those are very unique artifacts. Moorish artifacts. Dark artifacts. They, when together, represent the mightiest servant of the spirit they call Qatar." You see another shiver come across the cadaver. When a mortal accepts these gifts, they bear the role of the Nox, an ancient ruin bringer. The Nox is a title for those who bear the artifacts. Once you have one, you are compelled to get the others. Once you have all three, well, very few have held all three. And fewer still have stopped a Nox at their fullest potential. In the Moorish tongue, these items are called Capralir, Cordurugid, and Cienbor. By the lay tongue of Calidor, you would call these the Omen of Rot, the amulet you speak of, the Iron Capra, the helmet, and Cinderfall, the axe of ruin. I must say, I was not aware the Tyrvald family held these artifacts. That is intriguing. Your final question, my dear.
Has anyone else had blood like mine? When I prick.
Oh, you prick. For this, give me the memory of how you got such unique blood.
Real quick, as she thinks
Yes.
of it,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to jump in Oriana's head and see it too.
Oh, yeah. Do you...
I can cast detect thoughts.
I think this is going to be be a little more. Yeah, go for it.
So just as assuming, there's a lot of different distance and the attention is very heavily on back there. Just from the shadows, I whisper, Umbra Vertitus, and jump into Orianna's mind.
Yeah. Do you have to make any rolls for this? I don't know. I don't have tech thoughts in front of me.
Surface level thoughts I can get without, and I would assume that this is the surface because she's actively pushing it to.
That's fair. Yeah. Perfect. Yep. I love it. Yeah, so you'll get whatever Orianna reveals.
The memory starts off like the first memory I had just given her, being in the exact same room, all the people around, and then it kind of like rewinds to like before all the people were dead, and I'm back in the room, sitting at a desk, going through a book. There are other people around at other tables, the lanterns are lit, it's quiet, it's calm, and then I hear somebody gasp, and we all turn our heads to look towards the gasp, and someone had jumped onto a table in this dark cloak with the black and red sphere in hand, the other hand out casting. And at first everybody's confused as to what's going on, and nobody initially moves until everyone else's shadows begin to move up the walls of the library and begin to like take their own form and start like attacking their own hosts. And at that point I realized that someone needs to stop this from happening, and someone needs to take action. And so I leap up from my seat and I run towards the man in the dark cloak. And as I'm running, he swipes his hand out and some strange liquid splashes on everybody in the room. And I remember going to wipe it off, but it's not on my face anymore. It's like either dried really quickly or seeped into my skin. And it stops me before I get a chance to grab at him. And that's when my feelings of courage and bravery to stop him turn into rage and anger for what is happening. And then I black out, and I don't really remember the rest. And then the next thing I remember seeing is a repeat of the first memory of all the eviscerated bodies on the floor. I remember looking down and seeing an arm reaching out to me, to my feet, that then doesn't have a shoulder connected or the rest of the body. Then I remember Elda standing in the doorway screaming, and Chimet running towards me. And then that's where I'll end the memory.
As you move away from this, and Sterling, as you feel that as well, the Spindlemaiden's voice speaks up and says, "This blood, this is ancient blood, Moorish blood, blood from deep within the Vermore, blood tainted by Qatar itself, but defiant, ever defiant, defiant now as it was then. How Truly interesting. And you see she kind of, like, ends with that.
And I will step back from the stall.
While I saw that,
Mm-hmm.
you, I don't know what this is gonna be. Did I notice anything about Father when I saw his face?
In my memory?
From the memory.
In my memory, it was, like, cloaked over and, like, shadow over, like, most of his face, enough that I don't think I'd be able to recognize Resbin without his mask.
Okay. I think, Sterling, even as you see the memory, I think with the information presented now and some pieces being put together, whatever skin you could see, you now recognize was, like, horribly burned and, like, grotesque. But you wouldn't recognize Resbin. Yeah. As you go to step away, the Spindlemaiden concludes by saying, "It's been a pleasure to do business with you ladies. But I must caution you. Qatar hungers. Those questions you ask, they lead down a dangerous road. Qatar is not to be underestimated. A puppet master of all puppet masters. A manipulator with no shortage of patience or cunning. Be wary what you do above these catacombs. For if what I now know," and you see the cadaver kind of shifts towards Sterling, "if what I now know to be true, dark times come for Thalia. I hope we can do business again sometime soon."
I give her a
Farewell.
bow.
Yeah. The cadaver gives you both a bow as well before raising up and then slumping down.
Goodbye.
As this room falls dark again, only Sterling and Orianna's lights to cast shadows into the room. Renshor, how are you doing?
It's probably Renshor's kind of panicking. It's like midnight, and they're not back
just
yet.
about. Yeah.
To try and distract himself, he is trying to learn what some of these writings in the book are.
Yeah.
Like, there's this, which these symbols are, like, very similar to what he has to, like, draw in the air when casting spells. So he's trying to figure out what they mean. He's seen them on the same page written, like, just in a line vertically. So he assumes it's a language of some kind. And that is what he's distracting himself with as he drinks his wine.
Yeah, lovely. Yes, he sips his wine and really gets deep into studying the runes. And I think it's both a mix of trying to understand, like, you're trying to learn a very proper and very, like, regimented language through somebody else's shorthand. But you also, through Grandsire Shorthand, but you also have done a lot of collection of books and other study material. And I think Renshor is making good progress at like understanding this language and kind of being a self-taught academic of the runic arts. Absolutely. Yeah, and so Renshor, you can hear the bells toll 12 throughout the night as the ladies still have not returned.
I get up and knock on Sterling's door just to make sure she didn't sneak in.
Yeah, no response.
Okay.
Back beneath the city, Sterling and Orianna, you depart from the Spindlemaiden. Where to next?
I think in the room, I just kind of look at Orianna. Ready?
Yeah. Do I even want to know who you're hunting?
Maybe not.
Okay. Castle or monster? Which one?
Castle.
Okay.
You make the short trip up the flight of stairs, down the hall, up the stairs, to where you creak open, again, an empty throne room, veiled in darkness. This time, a cloudy night obscures the moons, and this room is almost completely dark, with the exception of any lights that you bring into it.
No, before we open the doors into the throne room, I think we would have put out our lanterns and candle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I'll open my connection back up with...
How your candle and lantern were extinguished like 4 hours ago.
No, she kept it above.
Until you both got dragged under.
Okay. Well,
I put it drop. I had to drop it to open the door. It's a two-handed door.
maybe
that's
that's
true.
It stayed by the door the whole time.
catacombs for 2
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I like it. Cool. Can I have stealth checks from both of you to exit the castle?
And I did say that I opened back up my connection.
Yes.
So that way we can talk. That is 19.
Perfect. A 19.
Mine's a nat 20.
Ooh.
So
Yeah. You both come out and slip into the shadows, making your way through the servants' passageways and through kind of like the back areas of the castle before you come out in a more respectable place to be seen and exit the castle gray wall.
the whole time
in the dead of night.
we were traveling through, I was just like humming in our head.
Mm-hmm.
And, like singing and humming, but like I can't do it out loud because they're sneaking. So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, excellent. Back out in the chill fall air of Thalia, where would you ladies like to head next?
Shall I walk you back to the manor? Yeah. And I will walk her back to the Tyrval estate.
Excellent. Just after... Yeah,
Oh,
go
go
ahead. No. I was going to say, you reach the manor just after the bells toll 1.
okay. I'll like pull either on the sidewalk. I'm not going to the front door, but actually no, I do want to go to the front door. So at the front door, I will just turn to you and say, "Thank you for taking me."
Of course. And I would do it again. Thank you for as well coming with me. And helping me in the room that wants me dead. I appreciate it.
We all have those rooms. Oh, the castle wasn't as busy as I thought it might be.
Yes, I promised to keep you safe through the castle, and I did. I'm glad we
To
were
be
able
fair,
to
it
get
would have
back
been
safe.
It would have been different if you went at 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Still a very good choice.
And then I'll just say, well, I'll see you probably soon.
Probably soon. Good night, Sterling.
Good night. And I'll reach up on my toes and just give a little kiss to her cheek. Thank you. And slip into the manor.
I move very quickly away from the manor.
Yeah. Do you wanna make a wisdom saving throw?
I will. But there's no people around.
There's
I'm
no
not
people to
super rude.
affect. I'm just curious if you would have passed.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. You did not pass. Excellent.
Which is
Perfect.
why I move very quickly away. Because I already...
Yep.
I blush a little bit, and I'm like, oh, and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got
Orianna,
that
you...
effect.
Yeah. Orianna, you move back into the night. I presume headed back to the barracks?
Yes. I walk all the way back to the barracks. I don't want to... I know it's late, and so it's tough to get a carriage, but I'm not even going to attempt to get a carriage over. Because now I'm trying to not feel the emotions that I'm feeling about my time with Sterling tonight. And for the first time, us kind of like... First time, from my perspective, of us getting along and having a nice night. And then her little kiss. And I'm just going to enjoy the cool air of the night before walking back to Brighthold Barracks.
Perfect. Sterling, do you allow your presence to be known by the servants or Renshor, or both?
I loudly return
Perfect.
and go into my room. And then, after being there and making it very clear that I am home, I will change into my other dress so that way it's less wet.
Yep.
Get a cloak, transfer my things, and slip on my brand new shoes.
Yes.
And then I would like to, without anyone knowing, slip back out of the manor.
Perfect. Make a quick stealth check as you do
Yes.
that. Renshor, would you have checked in on Sterling before she departed
Absolutely.
the house? Okay, yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I stay for a minute.
Yeah.
He came by. He knocked on your door. I don't know which dress you were in at that point. But
Hello.
hi. How'd it go?
Well, we almost died. I died a little, just a little, but we're fine now.
Are you still wearing the holy, wet, bloody
Yeah,
dress?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are you you're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We now have 2 dresses to replace.
Good thing you've got money.
You gotta be more careful.
Well, your only kind of didn't help at all, but I'd like to keep it for another few hours.
You have 1.
Okay.
You can make him cast it again.
Shut up, John.
Could you?
Could I what?
Cast it again. I worry what you might have led back to the manor after your meeting the other day. I would really appreciate sleeping soundly.
If something's gonna attack you, why would it not attack me first?
I'm prettier.
Fine. I'll dismiss it and then recast it again. I'm not even gonna mark it. Sun's gonna be up in 5 hours anyways.
Anything else?
Maybe you should mark it. Richard, throw that down. Mark it.
Do you have any other protections? Or...
No! Go!
Okay,
asleep!
Good night then, my lord. I slam the door on his face.
I'm going to bed.
Excellent.
And I got a 26 for whenever I deem appropriate later.
Yeah. Sterling, unbeknownst to anyone in Tyrval Manor, for the third night in a row? Fourth night?
Yeah.
Fourth? Because Orianna, Kazdeth, Thornstrom, yeah.
Meg.
And then tonight. Yeah.
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 For the fourth night in a row, slips out of the house after one of the
Good thing there's not bed checks.
Yeah. Sterling, you are back on the streets. It is incredibly dark. You blend in with the shadows. What is your destination?
I would like to... might have done this before I actually went out, but close my eyes and reach out to my favorite little birdie. Is he still there?
Yes. Thornstrom continues to pace. It seems the man has trouble sleeping. Looks like we scared him the other night.
Good. I like an anxious prey.
The meat tastes even better that way.
I'll be right there.
I'll be waiting. And you see from, like, in your mind, you can hear him take off.
And then, once I reach the manor, I want to find a spot that I can... because I was like 100 feet away. Just like right in front of there. So I want to find somewhere, now that I have 500 feet, with Dimension Door, that is hidden. To try and kind of set up my...
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's plenty of spots, either like street corners nearby on like Marble Hill. There's a couple carriages that are here if you want to sneak, like using the carriages as cover or something. There's plenty of spots that you can use as a hiding space. And you can see now, looking at Thornstrom Manor, you can see Raven perched on a nearby like tree or house looking into the manor. You can see most of the manor is dark. The guards out front still in much larger force than the other houses around. And you see one light on the third floor.
Okay. I would like to tap my shoulder and have Raven return to me.
He comes down.
Are you ready?
I have waited so long.
I'm so nervous. Okay. I would like to, kind of using Raven's knowledge of the room,
Mm-hmm.
Pick my spot?
Yes. Would you like to arrive in Thornstrom's room or like an adjacent room?
Was there guards in the room with him?
You did not... From the window, he did not see any guards. No.
Yeah. No,
Not in his immediate room.
I want to hop basically directly in front of him. I don't know, this isn't really how Action Economy works, but basically so that way I could appear in front of him and like cover his mouth so that way.
Okay.
Obviously that's not fair. But yeah.
So let's see. Just double check me. The dimension door is an action, correct?
I believe so.
Because it may. I think it's an action.
Yeah, I mean, I know Misty Step's a bonus action, but I would assume that dimension door.
Yes, it is. It is one action. Perfect.
Yeah, so like, if I could almost an initiative get like a surprise, and if I can't, that's fine.
Yeah, so actually, that's exactly what we'll do. You can dimension door right into his room, and then the check will be, that will be like the surprise round is the dimension door, and then we'll make initiative rolls. And as long as you beat him in initiative, then you'll get a full turn before he has any actions. That sound good?
Perfect. Yep.
As you cast dimension door, and I'll leave this up to you, do you think that the spell is in the flavor of Sterling or in the flavor of the Spindlemaiden?
I'd say the Spindlemaiden, because I do not have 4th level spells, so this has got to be her.
Yes. You tap into these shoes. I almost imagine like you clicking the heels together.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna Dorothy it.
Perfect. You watch as like the ground in front of you like crumbles in, and you almost in one fluid step like step into the floor, which brings you into the manor. And for Thornstrom, he watches like strands of like fabric, or maybe it's sinew, like creep through the air and pull the space apart, allowing you and Raven to step through and be immediately in his manor. And as you cast a spell, you come face to face with Viscount Thornstrom for the 3rd time this week. And as you as you dimension door into his manor, roll initiative. This is a big roll.
Come on, buddy.
22. Well, he rolled a 7, and as an old man, he has a -2 to his dexterity, so that's a 5. So yes, you're 22. Sterling, locked into the hunt. As soon as you come out, you get your turn in initiative, and Sterling is up.
I would like to just like lock eyes with him. And then I'm going to say, Animi Anculio. And power from my mind is going to psychically reach out into his, and I basically have shadows tighten around his mind as I psychically whip him.
Oh.
And he has to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay, he is smart.
He can be,
but that's not a good roll. Even with his +5, that is only a 13.
My DC is 16.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he is going to take 3d6 psychic damage. Okay. But as I do that, I'm looking at him and his eyes, and I feel a warmth at my chest. And I look down at his hands that are stained in blood.
Yep.
And the heat of the amulet at my chest is going to make this do double damage.
Mm-hmm.
So do I roll my 3d6 twice, or do I just double that number that I get?
Double the dice.
Okay.
So 66.
Oh, that's a d8. I was like, I just rolled an 8. That's not right.
And as this massive amount of psychic energy flows from Sterling, Thornstrom looks on in horror, the immediate recognition of the person that was in his workshop, the person that was in his mind, the person that was next to Renshor when at the gala, and like all of these, like the connections of Sterling all come across his horrified face as how much psychic damage comes through.
28.
28 points of damage. You push this damage in. His doppelgangers had some strange sense of resilience into their bodies. And as you push into this frail, old human's mind, 28 Pabas is above his 4 hit points as an old commoner. Sterling, how would you like to obliterate Thornstrom's mind?
I think I am just with my powers of Asmelia. I would like to just slowly tighten the shadows upon his mind. I want it to be slow as he dies. And I pull from my hand that rotten citrus that I collected at the forge.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shove it into his mouth and try to do it just enough that he starts choking on it just a little.
Yeah, you see as like you're in his mind, he's slowly collapsing to the floor. His eyes are rolling back in his head, his mouth agape, in too much pain to even scream. And as the sound just escapes his throat, that rotten citrus is jammed into his mouth as he starts to convulse and collapse.
Just hold on to him. And in his mind, he hears, "You made a mistake. For too long, this city has gotten off on burning my people. But I'm here now. I am the matron's vow of vengeance. I am the legacy of the Coven of Shadows. I am the last witch. And I will burn every last one of you. Starting with you." And then I will let him die.
Yeah, you almost feel his mind break before his body lets go of life, and the husk of Viscount Thornstrom collapses to the ground.
Before I leave, I would like to douse him in that alcohol that I got from the Tearfall Manor kitchen and take out my dagger.
Stealing my alcohol?
I want to rip out his tongue.
Wow, yeah.
Before I take my fingers and very gently, the candle that I stole earlier tonight, go, Artis, and light a small flame that I then press gently against the alcohol. And I don't need to stay too long because the guards will notice this, but I would like to watch his corpse begin to turn to ash. There will be no revivify. There will be no speak with dead. I am the daughter of Shadow, and I was trained well.
The room that you're in is engulfed in flames. The dark silhouette of Sterling watches the body of Thornstrom shrivel and burn. And as the shouts of the guards, as the smoke fills the room and fills the house, as their shouts reach your ears, Sterling, what do you do?
I click my heels.
And the room is empty. No Thornstrom, no Sterling, just the blaze of bright red and yellow engulf the Thornstrom Manor. And that is where we'll end tonight's session of City and Shadows. Woo! That was intense. That was really good. Did I have plans to speak with Thornstrom's dead body? 100%. That's excellent. That is very good.
Who's in my house?
Perfect.
Or not in my house, I guess.
Not in your house. Make sure you are liking and subscribing because there are far more secrets to be revealed and so much more to happen, even in just this arc. So, until we meet again over another round at the Four Rings Inn, see you next time.
Bye.